Patrick Tuttle, the real estate guy with Coldwell Banker Heritage and Legacy Management Services with your residential real estate report for the month of April 2024. And before we get started, please hit that like and that share button, ring the bell, do whatever it takes to get other people to like this and share the news about what's going on in residential real estate here in the El Paso area. So what is going on? Let's take a look at our resale homes report. We got good news on this. So a couple things. Number one, our gap on the sales versus the inventory is increasing ever so slightly. That means that the buyers have more choices out there, but it also means for the sellers that we're not getting as many multiple offer scenarios. There are still some of those going on out there, and specifically, here's what's going on. Sales are up, okay? Get that. They are up 10.2% year over year. We had 439 sales tracked in the MLS for the month of April 2024. In 2023, and 484 in 2024. So it may be that Easter showing up in March of 2024 pushed some of those sales, because remember, March numbers were down and now we're up year over year. That's the first time we've been up in almost 2 years on the resale homes report. So that's good news. 2, months of inventory is up 67%. We're at 2.67% for the month. This morning I checked, we were at 2.95 months of inventory. So that's dipping, it's creeping ever so closer to that equal market, that balanced market of buyers versus sellers in the marketplace. But that's going to be specific to the price range that your home is in. Average price is up slightly at 2.9% year over year. Last month we were at 1.9%, so we're not tracking as much as inflation, but we're still seeing an increase even with the higher interest rates. Average size home going down. We talked about that shrinkflation a couple of months ago. Still seeing that trend there. And the price per square foot is up. That's going to track with the price change as much as well. And days on market, it's taken a little bit longer for the sellers to get sold than it did a year ago. 49 days on market last year, 60 days on market this year. Now, onto our new homes report. We're not seeing exactly the same thing, but that green line is still pretty far apart. When we look at it, it did slip a little bit in the month of April, and I think that's due to lot availability. We don't have as many lots coming on the market for the builders to buy and project those properties out for the speculation that's on building a spec home on speculation that they're going to sell that thing. So here's what's going on in the report. Sales are up 7% year over year. Now that's been consistent for about the last year as the supply chain got unkinked and the builders were able to finish those products. Months of inventory is up 2.8%. They're at 6.75% right now. This morning it was at 6.9%. And if you just take that number and cut it in half, that gives us realistically about 3.5 months of inventory, roughly about 90 days is what we've got available in the marketplace across all price ranges. My belief is if they get it down below $300,000, they'll sell a lot more of those homes, but it's all about the price point and what our people here in El Paso can purchase. Average price is up 1.3% to $310,786 year over year, and the average size home went down just slightly at 3.5%. You're still getting a good size home at 1,874 square feet. Price per square foot is still going up. We're at $167.59 this year, in days on market 132 compared to 128, and that typically goes up with the months of inventory because the buyers have more choices out there in the marketplace. So that's what's going on with the home specifically. Now let's look at the interest rates. So last week the Fed board met, and Chairman Jerome Powell and his guru, the folks that are there on the Fed board, that's the word I'm looking for. Can't think today, but the Federal Reserve Board decided to hold the overnight lending rate steady, and I think it's at 5 3/8%, and the interest rates started to drop on the mortgages. So for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, we're at 6.895%, holding steady right there around that 7% and below. VA and FHA seems to be where the market is favoring right now. You can get better numbers on VA and FHA. You can see that down here. 30-year fixed rate FHA at 5.985%. So if you're in the marketplace looking for a home and you can go FHA or conventional, that might be the route to go. You've also got great rates on the 30-year fixed for a VA at 6.052%. And this data was pulled on May the 8th. Today is May the 14th that we're shooting this, but on May the 8th, that's what the numbers were. Now, continuing, here is what's going on with your index returns. We're still seeing some negative numbers over here with the 1 month rate. S&P 500 is negative 4.16, Dow Jones negative 5, mid-cap S&P 6.08 negative, and a negative 5.75. Over on the year part, they've got some really good numbers over there: 20.78%, 10.9, 14.89, and 10.43. That means that the folks that have the money, the disposable income and or the reserve assets, they've got good choices out there. Do I go into residential real estate? Do I go into the stock market? They've got choices there. Remember, I'm not an investment advisor, nor do I play one on TV, but I can be your investment advisor when it comes to the asset class of residential real estate, because that's the one thing that I do the best, is analyzing the market for both my buyers and the sellers and the investors who want to be in that marketplace. Now, continuing, here's our unemployment rate for the county of El Paso, Texas. And you can barely see that gray line right over here where we're tracking pretty much the same as we were a year ago. The economy in El Paso seems to be doing well, but our wages, the gap between the wages and what it actually costs to buy a home, that's the biggest challenge that we have. We had like a 14% increase in wages over the 4-year period beginning March of 2020 through February of 2024. Meanwhile, we had a 65% increase in the price of home and a 45% increase in the price of money. So this is good news because people have jobs. They're just not getting enough payment for those jobs to be able to afford the houses. And that's where we bring it back. And we're going to talk about our 3 key takeaways. The early occurrence of Easter this year appears to have helped the sales in the month of April, because we slowed down right at the end of March, and then it seems like they just pushed into the month of April when we got that 10% increase in sales year over year. Number 2, resale prices are still on the rise at 2.9% year over year. And number 3, even though the Fed decided to hold the overnight lending rate at 5 3/8, the interest rates for mortgages dropped, and you're seeing some 5s. That's great news if you can do an FHA loan and you can go out there and buy a home. If you've got questions about this data, if you've got questions about how we can serve you, whether you're a buyer, whether you're a seller, maybe you're an agent and you need some good analysis like this to help you in your career, reach out to me. You can reach me online, patrick@patricktuttle.com. You can hit me here on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, or Lord knows where you might be watching this. I'm happy to help you out any way that I can. You can also reach out to me on my cell phone. Area code 915-588-1850 is the best way to catch me. Remember, like that and share it. God bless you. Thanks for watching, and make it a great day. Bye-bye.